Today is actually a disappointing trading session because we started off well in the green and we couldn't even hold in the green for the time being, very deeply in the red, particularly at the Nifty Bank. But Nimesh is with us. Nimesh, what's the sense you're getting today? I mean, yesterday was a weak trading session and building down on yesterday's losses, we're down another 80-90 points.
Well, down largely because of selling pressure. We saw a large sell figure yesterday and that trend of FI selling continues in today's market as well. That's the overall sense. I guess that's the reason why we've given up most of the early morning gains, and even the global markets look a bit wobbly, right? It's not like everything is clear now, and we're back to the positive thing. So I guess the time being we'll have to consolidate in these levels is the overall feedback. And as I said, there is selling pressure from larger FIs. Look at the Bank Nifty; it's down almost 900 points from the day's high, and that's again backed by FIs selling. Across private banks as well as PSU banks, there is selling pressure from larger FIs, including the domestic mutual funds as well. In fact, there is a chatter as well that maybe some domestic mutual funds has started seeing some bit of redemption pressures as well. So I guess that's going to be the key, right? The domestic money is what was helping the markets to hold on, and if that gives up, you might see correction in the broader market stocks. Also, the selling pressure. I was just looking at the list of stocks where there is selling pressure. Most of the names where there is selling pressure is all the stocks are above the two plus average mean. So all the expensive stocks is where there is selling pressure from the larger FI. So looks like there is a valuation call as well as far as India is concerned. So that's something to track going forward. Both the FI money has been a seller, but if the domestic money is slightly on the sidelines and they don't invest, I guess we'll see a bit of correction in the expensive stocks. That's the sense from the flow perspective. I guess real estate is a sector to watch because of the anticipation of some relief in the finance bill. If that has to come, you might see some further reaction. But broadly, it's selling pressure, and largely banks and the expensive names is where the FIs and DIs seems to be selling.
Well, Nimesh, the bulls will be hoping for a time-wise correction. They wouldn't mind it now because it appears that price-wise correction is suddenly taking over. So let's see how that goes. But individual stocks, what are you picking up?
Well, a lot of stocks which are buzzing in trade despite big selling pressure. So the first name is NTPC. Well, the stock is under pressure because of the overall markets, but for the last couple of days, there is very strong delivery-based buying happening. I understand a leading long-only fund is an active buyer in NTPC at this level. So that's the first name. The second name is BEL. Under pressure today, largely on the back of the big BOFA downgrade, where they have downgraded all the industrial names, but also there is selling pressure from larger FIs as well as some domestic mutual funds as well. So I guess that's the reason why BEL is under pressure today. The third stock is GMR Airports. We've seen a bit of a pullback in that stock from the yesterday's low, but there is small delivery-based buying as well from larger FIs in GMR Airports. And the last is Protein eGovern. I've been covering for the last few days now. Again, the stock is under pressure today on the back of soft Q1. But from a flow perspective, I guess one of the leading NBFC, which is owning close to 3%, that's completely cleaned out now. So their selling is largely over, and some HNS have bought as well in the last many days. So bit of under pressure today on back of earnings, but again, there is flows from larger HNS. They're looking to buy at lower levels.
Yeah, that's right. And a couple of these stocks, strong hands coming in there, but delivery is something that the street ultimately will go according to. But Nimesh, just one more stock I wanted to ask you about. Patanjali, we saw a large trade in the last few minutes. Any clue about that?
Nearly 24 lakh shares is what I checked. There was a large block of 24 lakh shares. Looks like some HN investors were sellers in today's block, and a single buyer, likely a US-based fund, was a buyer in today's block. So I'm not sure whether it's more than 5%, 0.5%, so disclosures will come or not. But in case the disclosures come, it would be interesting to watch as to which US-based fund has bought in today's block deal.
All right, Nimesh, thank you very much for that. So that's all the buzz from dealing